Now,
Sorry for cutting
Courtney,
you
I
off.
know that you're developing your own tarot deck.
That's right.
Talk to us about it. This is your moment. Talk.
Well, the deck is called Tarot of the Boroughs, and it's a full 78-card tarot deck. It's inspired by the classic tarot cards, which came out of the Renaissance. But the image has been replaced by contemporary urban figures that you would see in any city, but are a little more specific to New York City. For example, our King of Coins is Moby. He posed for us, which was fantastic. Our High Priestess is a voodoo priestess named Lil Dorsey, who we photographed. It's all done with photography. And we photographed her doing a tarot reading out in Brooklyn and lighting the cigar and blowing the smoke on the cards, which is typical of the voodoo tradition. It was really fantastic. And the Empress, which is a motherhood card, is a woman who's very, very pregnant in a city park watching the children play. And yeah, it's just beautiful. So the coin cards, which are typically about money, they're all boardroom CEOs, and the cup cards, which is about love. It's people, canoodling in their apartments and being sweet. So it's a fantastic deck, and we're self-publishing. We decided not to go with the major publisher houses. So.
And who are you doing this with?
My high priest and collaborator, his name is George Courtney, and he's not here tonight, but he's a photographer, and I think he's at home doing Photoshop on some of the things as well.
So with your cards, do you teach how to read your cards? Because I know we spoke earlier about if people wanted to get in touch with you, you would give them a little information about your cards, but they really shouldn't just focus on the cards, but the energy around it type of thing? Well,
I include a little booklet with the cards, but I put a disclaimer in the booklet saying I'm really hoping you ignore everything I say in here. If you get stuck and you want to refer to this, I said, but if you want to know what I meant when I chose a specific symbol for the card, what I meant is I want you to get your own interpretation from this.
Use your imagination.
Yes, use that. Let these things be familiar.
Exactly.
And do you teach any classes? Is there anything you want to talk about?
I do teach workshops periodically in the Northeast region. I'm teaching at a couple of things this year. You can find my information on my website, tarotoftheboroughs.com, and mostly doing the festival circuit this year.
Okay, good.
Not as many. I do workshops in New York, mostly in the wintertime.
Right. Well, if anybody wants to get in touch with any of my guests, at the end of the show, there'll be a page for each of them with their name, their phone number, their websites, whatever, any contact information that you guys need. You'll be able to get in contact with these people, and I hope you do. Anything you're teaching, Gloria? I know you hold a thing once a month.
For about 25 years, I've had a women's spirituality circle. It meets monthly at the Community Center in Manhattan on West 13th Street between 7th and 8th. And on the Sabbats, the actual winter solstice, the spring equinox, the summer solstice, the fall equinox, and then the midpoints between each of those, I have a special ritual at my apartment because those dates are not necessarily organized. I used to do full moon rituals as well. Sometimes I do. It's a heavy schedule. But I do a lot of guided meditations and really just empower somebody to get affirmations and set up the energy flow so that their life works as well as it can.
Okay. Leo, I know I interrupted you when you were about to ask something a minute ago. Please.
Oh, I forgot what that was.
Oh, come on. You forgot, for real?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, wow. Spells. Let's talk about spells. What are the best spells? What spells work the best? What spells don't work? What's the most effective?
I like banishing spells.
Those are great.
Yeah.
More ecologically conscious in that to throw something in a stream or in an ocean, you can wrap the person's name on a piece of parchment paper. Paper dissolves in water as long as it doesn't have dyes or acids and anything like that, and wrap it up with twine on some twigs, send it away from you so they go away. I don't recommend that with the ocean because the ocean will spit it back after a while, but if you can get near a river, that's terrific because that'll take that banishing away. Didn't mean to hit you there. But I use candle magic for banishing white candles because white reflects. Okay. And that will send things away from you. And sometimes I'll carve the name on of the person on the candle and the name of the holy mystery. I banish so-and-so away from me. And I make banishing oils, which are pretty easy to do.
You make your own oils?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's great. And you just, as one of my teachers said, just burn, baby, burn. Right. And just burn them away.
I use a technique. It's called cutting the cords, where you visualize somebody who's got energy that's not fabulous,
Right.
and you know then you're not feeling great, and you see them on a stage with the light on, and you can see all those little particles of dust, and you can actually see the filaments that connect all of us to each other, right? And the ones that are healthy are fine. The ones that are a little bit twisted or warped or withered, where that energy is getting discombobulated, gets surgically cut, and then both ends are held up to source light so that everybody gets the healing that they need. So they get the healing that they need so that they're not trying to pull energy from you like you're their savior. It's like a codependent thing where it's... And you can be released of the dependency on being pulled into that negative drama that exists between both of you, because two people cannot have an interchange if one person doesn't. So you're healing the other and you're healing yourself, so that source light does its beautiful.
You can banish those psychic vampires.
Yeah.
Oh, I know all about them.
Yeah.
Any other spells that you guys would recommend?
I actually don't recommend love spells a lot.
Okay.
Those just have backfire written all over them. Now, if somebody wants general romance or is ready for a relationship and they want to do a spell that opens the pathways to that relationship,
For the highest good.
Right. But when they start specifying what, I want this person or I want a person with these
because then
qualities.
you're taking their free will away, and I wouldn't do a spell like that either.
No.
Yeah.
So come on, give me another spell, another really good spell that these people could...
How about something to get rid of illness?
Well, that would fall too under the banishing.
Right.
And you would do that during the phases of the moon too. There's waxing and waning. A waxing moon is from new moon to full, and then from full moon to almost when the moon becomes new, you get that waning. So that's when you want to banish things away from you.
Right. Especially in the last quarter.
Yeah.
It's between that and just before the new moon is a time. If I were doing a health spell, you can, I would see if the person would let me have an article of, their clothing or their hair, and just saying ban illness from this specific person, and calling my spirit guides to find that person and remove the illness from them. And the banishing, there are other things you can do more on the new moon, where you can make dough babies, where you make a little thing of bread in the shape of the person, and or if you have several people, can channel health into that dough person and give it to someone to eat. I mean, of course, they know about this, they know what it is, and they're taking health back into their body. No, my craft mom and father did something on one of their coven mates where she was very, very ill in the hospital, so they had someone stand in the middle and visualize the person in the middle was her, and so they all sent healthy energy, and the woman standing in the middle was focusing on